My next main topic is gender inequality in sport. Gender inequality can come from lots of different things, but one thing I think it does come from is stereotypes, because these affect the amount of gender issues due to people believing that certain sports players must look and act a certain way. For example, males are seen to typically dominate sports such as football and rugby due to their physical build. However, the fact that they seem more adventurous and are tough means that they can take place in sports which involve frequent contact, like possibly rugby. Therefore, on the opposite of that, females are seen to be more delicate and dainty, so they stereotypically take place in sports such as gymnastics and dance. Now, the question is, why is there stereotypes? Stereotypes can lead from lots of different things. However, one thing is upbringing. Children are influenced by parents and what sports that they might take their children to. For example, boys might play football at school, but girls had to do a dance class because possibly it might have been socially awkward for a girl to go and join a football club. Also relevant to this, it's what sort of sports their parents enjoyed when they were younger. It may affect the club they let them go to. So, for example, if a child's dad used to play in a football team, then he might be more inclined to make his son join a football team than something like gymnastics. I think it is very dependent on what each parent did and what their child wanted to enjoy as well. So I think socialisation links to this as well, because what sort of school that you went to, for example, a mixed gender, same gender, maybe private, public, has a big effect because they had different stages of development in your sport. So maybe in the younger years of your primary school, you will have played mixed games together and both genders were joined together. However, as you move up towards secondary school, they used to split genders quite a lot into girls and boys do certain sports, because that's just how matches work. Like netball and basketball, they weren't usually held as mixed matches at school. It also depends on how your parents introduce you to things. For example, different sports that boys or girls might have seen on TV. This would affect how involved children felt that they could get in a different sport, and also what they may have felt encouraged to do. This means that they may have felt more confident to join a club in the future if they've had good experience of getting involved, whereas if, say, for example, a girl joined a football club and she got bullied by boys in it, she'd be less likely to get involved in a football club in the future. So my next point is opportunities. I think males are seen typically to choose to do more sport in society, as is expected that women are at home having certain roles. This would lead to men having more of an opportunity to go out and go to the gym, play football, do other sports with friends, whilst their family is being taken care of by their wife or whoever's at home. This encourages more males to take part in sport, and it also may put off females from joining in a sport. There isn't many role models that can open up opportunities for women to get involved in football as well. I think this is down to women's football not being broadcast enough on TV, leading to there being less clubs for people to feel inclined to join, whereas in male football there is players such as Bruno from Brighton and Hove Albion, who has retired from playing in the leagues and championships and matches and all that, but he has joined the staff for the team, which helps to encourage and settle in the new players to the Amex. However, this could reflect some gender difficulties because more male players will be inclined to join the Amex, as the role model running it, Bruno, is a male, and therefore less females may be confident to join or inclined to join, as there's no women role models that are inspiring to make them feel like they can join the Amex or they can join a football club as well. It may put off some players from taking part in a new sport, which increases the gap of gender inequality. I also think that spectatorism plays a major role in gender inequality, because not many women's football matches are shown on TV, which does decrease the number of spectators who are looking to go and watch a ladies' match. This does link to gender inequality because more male football matches are broadcast on TV, so more people go and watch them. However, as less women's football matches are shown or even played, less people can go and support the teams, which does make the numbers a lot less for the women, decreasing their chance of a match being shown again, because if the spectators aren't there, the funding's not there for the team to keep hosting those events. An example of this is the Women's World Cup. 28.1 million people watched the Women's World Cup final. However, 516.6 billion people watched the men's final. I think this really did show the gender gap of how if certain genders' sport isn't shown on TV enough, there isn't enough spectators to get behind them and support them throughout big matches and events like this. And I do think this could be linked to lots of people supporting male teams and not female, purely down to the lack of knowledge about what teams are out there. Maybe they don't even know that some women play, which does increase gender inequality, as male football is therefore the preferred sport. Especially in football, they may think more of men than women. I also do think salaries has a big effect on the increasing amount of gender inequality, as this isn't really being resolved, because the amount of women and men get paid in a football match to play varies depending on their sponsors and their popularity to play in matches. I do think this links back to spectatorism, because if women aren't having enough broadcast on TV and not enough supporters, then they're not going to get as many sponsors. For example, Ada Hegerberg, who's a female Norwegian player, she's rated the highest paid women's footballer. She's paid £343,000 per year, which is 326 times less than what Messi, who is the highest paid men's footballer, gets paid per year. Messi is paid £112 million a year, which is a huge and unfair difference compared to a top female player. This shows that my last 2 points and about spectatorism and opportunities linked to impacting a player's life within the gender gap. If a female team isn't being broadcast and therefore aren't being watched by spectators, their opportunities with sponsors will be varied, decreasing the amount of pay that they get compared to males, who do get lots of continuous sponsors because their matches are dominantly shown, and therefore men can go on to run support for new players joining new teams, like Bruno is, encouraging more male players to join, which only adds to a salary gap again and again.